I've been wondering where Joe Hendry has been for a while because it's been a hot minute since I've seen the guy. I've been following the guy's work since he was in TNA and then when he came up to NXT and now the main roster. But even a little bit when he was in What Culture Pro Wrestling. But, you know, just to see how things have been kind of just dying down for the guy, it's kind of weird because I haven't seen any injury reports. I looked up if he's injured and it keeps telling me that he's injured, but this isn't 2025. Yeah, it says stuff about 2025. Yeah, 2026, but this isn't talking about him. Could be seriously hurt. Yeah, so it's saying that he could be seriously hurt, but then this is just from the ladder match that he won the NXT championship in. Like, this isn't. So clearly the guy's not hurt. He's just not being used correctly, which is kind of weird because they placed him in a faction when Joe Hendry's whole entire character is a single star, a singles musician slash motivational type character, which it should never be in a tag team if it's being done how it's been done for a long time. But since they had nothing for the guy, they just paired him in a weird 4-man faction with Seth Rollins, Angelo Dawkins. Like, just the fact that Joe Hendry was in not only was it bad enough he was in the Vision Vortex, but the dude was placed into a faction, a 4-man faction with the Street Profits and Seth Rollins, and Joe Hendry was just weird. Just that is the most WWE 2K19 universe mode thing that you could do. And then the guy hasn't been used since. Joe Hendry got called up and like his momentum is gone. It's gotten so bad to the point where just, I don't know, man. Of course, Joe Hendry, you know, he really doesn't seem to be hurt or anything. Like, and if this is just a way of, you know, having him and Paul, but then Logan Paul ended up being injured. You know, I just don't get it. I just don't get how this benefits anyone. Joe Hendry's crowd response is amazing. His crowd connection, his promos are really good. He could just be the next Elias as far as him sitting in the ring, dimly lit, and then a guitar playing or whatever. You know, like his concerts, how he did in TNA and NXT, but. You know, the Fire Logan Paul stuff, you know, that got repetitive after a while because, you know, he just kept saying that line. Now, of course, it caught on. But the part is they had him say that and then face Logan Paul in a tag match and then kept him off TV just with no direction. And he really doesn't seem to be injured, so I don't know what the hell is going on here. You know, and if this is just because Logan Paul got injured, then they don't have anybody else to have Joe Hendry in the story with. This is pretty weird. You know, like this is Joe Hendry we're talking about. Joe Hendry, 252 pounds of pure motivation. You know, wave your hand side by side, wave your hand side to side, and say, "I believe in Joe Hendry." Joe Hendry, he is prestigious. America, Scotland, and Canada, and Mexico. I believe in Joe Hendry, you know, and I haven't seen the guy in a while. I checked a bunch of injury reports, and the only recent injuries I could tell was Sheamus recently at a gym when his head was bashed, you know, in the back. Other than that, I can't really like no one's. Like his most recent injury is from when his NXT championship reign was active, but you know, he lost the NXT title and then went to the main roster. No injuries have been. I don't know, man. I don't like this because I really like Joe Hendry. You know, he's hilarious. He could turn anybody he's facing into a parody. He made a song about Drew back in TNA. He made a song about LA Knight. Well, he went by Eli Drake back then. He could. There's so many creative avenues that you can take with Joe Hendry. You can have Joe Hendry make a parody song about anybody he's dissing, and then he'll put it up on Spotify or Instagram or YouTube Music or something like that. There's a lot of money that you can make off of Joe Hendry and what he has to present, but keeping him off TV is strange. The guy's clearly not injured, and if he is, and I'm just making this video for no reason, then I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't be on TV, you know. And even when he was on TV, it's not like he was doing anything. They just put him in a Vision vortex. That's as bad as being in a Bloodline vortex. The Bloodline vortex is the SmackDown danger you need to look out for, and the Vision is the Raw Bermuda Triangle you need to look out for. You know, it's like, well, once you get, like, it doesn't matter if you're a single star or not. If you're a single star, you better find somebody else to have a random tag team with, or you'll just be put into a faction of a tag team that already exists, and then you'll just, you know, it's kind of like when LA Knight was on SmackDown, and then him and no, not LA Knight on SmackDown. It was Shinsuke and Apollo Crews taking on the MFTs for 1,000 years. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a tag team or not. Like you gotta, once you're stuck in that vortex, you gotta find the nearest person, whether a single star or a faction. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, it's just like CM Punk and Roman Reigns were facing the Vision, but they're two guys who supposedly hated each other. But that doesn't matter because they got to fight the Vision, you know. Just, I don't know, man. Just stuffing Joe Hendry into something like the Vision, who's already not. I don't know, man. This helps nobody. I just don't understand what this does for Joe Hendry, keeping him off TV for this long if he's not injured. Because I tried to look up if he was injured and nothing really came up for me. So I'm just curious as to what's going on, you know. And of course, as fans, we're not supposed to know everything, but I'll check again because I typed in Joe Hendry injured. Joe Hendry injured right now. Yeah, he's not the TNA champion anymore, you know. So I'm just a bit curious as to what's going on because let's see if I can find something in Reddit or something. Terrible thing to screen record if you're not trying to get demonetized. But injured. Let's see if he's like injured because dude hasn't been on TV in a hot minute. Poor Joe Hendry totally dropped the ball on. Yeah, well, yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing really. I can't find anything about him being injured. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on on Joe Hendry. Just slapping him into a tag team feud that had no reason to really have him if he wasn't feuding with Logan Paul. Very, very strange momentum drop for sure. Just sabotaging like crazy. Yeah, this is pretty disappointing. But yeah, I have not seen Joe Hendry. I went from believing in Joe Hendry to asking where Joe Hendry even is. This is what the main roster will do if they do not have a plan for you. This is crazy. Crazy work, man.